I'm here again on the Senate floor, as I have been on 14 previous occasions, to urge all of us, to urge my colleagues here in the Senate and, of course, our colleagues down through the rotunda in the House to extend the production tax credit for wind. It's also known by its shorthand as the PTC. The reason I'm here on the floor, and as I've said many, many times before, this is about jobs. If we don't extend the production tax credit as soon as possible, we will lose good-paying American jobs. It's that simple. It's that straightforward. I'm going to keep speaking on the floor of the Senate until we, colleagues, decide to act, until Congress decides to take the necessary action to extend the production tax credit, protect American jobs. I want to underline that. We're going to protect American jobs and help secure our energy future in the 21st century, where clean energy will be a dominant part of the mix. Madam President, it's been a treat to come to the floor to do this on one hand because I'm touring the country. I focus on a state when I come to the floor. And today I want to focus on the great state of Oregon, where the wind industry is a major part of their economy and where the PTC's positive ripple effects have been felt statewide. In short, Oregon is a national leader in wind power, and I want to share some of the statistics to make the case. According to the American Wind Energy Association, Oregon ranks 6th in power derived from wind. The wind energy industry supports roughly 3,000 jobs in Oregon, and that number is poised to grow, but only if we extend the production tax credit. As you look at the map here of Oregon, you can see that Oregon has installed extensive wind power projects along the Columbia River Valley in the northern part of the state. The Columbia basically delineates the state of Oregon from the state of Washington right here along its northern boundary. And there are enough projects there producing enough power so that 700,000 homes would have electricity from those wind power projects. The Bigelow Canyon Wind Farm is the ninth largest wind farm in the nation. And Oregon's 2nd Congressional District, which is a very big district, much like the Western Slope District in Colorado, the 3rd District, it ranks 4th in the United States for installed wind capacity. And over the last decade, one county alone, a relatively small county here, Sherman County, has seen over $17 million in revenues come into that county due to the simple presence of the wind energy industry. And that money has helped Sherman County do some impressive things. They've created jobs and improved their infrastructure, including building a new public school and library, supporting the Sherman County Historical Museum, and installing solar panels on county property. A nice hybrid system is in place in using renewable energy with those solar panels. These are impressive achievements and investments. I think you get where I'm heading here. Oregon's wind energy potential is tremendous. Currently, there are plans to more than triple the amount of power that Oregon gets from wind. That would mean a total of 9,000 megawatts of electricity. That would power over 2 million homes. And moreover, such a move, such an investment would create thousands of jobs. I want to go back to my main point here. The wind production tax credit has been a major driver of this growth in the last decade, encouraging wind industry producers to invest in Oregon and the rest of our country. The PTC has encouraged American innovation. Innovation is how we're going to grow our economy, and it's supported American companies in the wind energy sector. But interestingly enough, and I know the presiding officer knows this, and I look forward to the opportunity to talk about her great state of North Carolina in the future, the PTC has enticed foreign companies to bring their operations and the jobs therein to the United States. Because of the PTC, these companies are building factories and offices in the United States. I like to talk about Vestas. It's a Danish company. It has a significant manufacturing presence in Colorado. There are 4 different plants in Colorado. In fact, last Saturday I was at the Vestas plant in Pueblo, and they support many jobs in Colorado. But Vestas has a strong presence in Oregon as well. In fact, their U.S. headquarters are located in one of the most livable cities in the world, that being Portland. And they have made a real statement, Vestas has, about the potential here in the United States. So, Madam President, again, the point I'm making is that it's clear to me and a large, growing, and bipartisan group of colleagues in both houses of the Congress, including, I should say, both of my colleagues from Oregon, Senators Merkley and Wyden, that extending the production tax credit is the right thing to do. It's the right thing for our future, for our economy, and for our environment. And without the PTC, we should look at the other side of this success story. Without it, the sustained growth of the wind industry in recent years will slow. There's no doubt about that, it already has, possibly halt, and we actually may see good-paying American jobs that will be lost to China and other countries. Why would we want that to happen? We cannot let that happen. And the continued uncertainty is not right. It's not fair when it comes to our U.S. wind industry and the people who work in that sector. Last Saturday, I heard from the workers at the Vestas plant in Pueblo, the tower plant, that they didn't know whether they were going to have their jobs in a few months. The looks on their faces alone should motivate all of us to get the wind production tax credit extended. This is also an opportunity for us in the Congress to show the American public that we're not as dysfunctional as a Congress as the public believes. This is a chance to support economic growth and American manufacturing right here in our country. The American people expect us to produce results, and we can only do so by working together. And I fear, Madam President, that the wind production tax credit has become a political football. We have a chance to show the American public who are sick of campaign year rhetoric and politics and business as usual partisanship that we can rise above it. And I want to reiterate again, this is a perfect opportunity for us because this is not a partisan issue. It has widespread support from both parties across our country, and I've been highlighting that fact over these last few weeks. So, what can we do? We ought to understand that the production tax credit equals jobs. We ought to pass it as soon as possible. And Madam President, as I wind down, I want to note that the Senate Finance Committee is meeting right now to consider a tax extenders package. And I know many of my colleagues on the Senate Finance Committee, including Oregon Senior Senator Ron Wyden, are working to include the PTC in the package. And I want to add my voice to those that are already in place, urging the Finance Committee to pass an extension of the PTC today as a part of the tax extenders package. And then let's move the full Senate to the point where we can pass the PTC as soon as possible. Why? Because we're protecting American jobs and we're setting the ground, we're preparing the ground for additional job creation in this crucial, growing, exciting 21st century industry, the wind energy industry.